Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the Men's Physique Show. Starting with our boy from across the oceans. He didn't just come across, his voice is not just coming across the ocean. He's coming across conquering this entire sport with his voice. We're talking about my boy, A-Bomb, the Australian voice of Men's Physique. You know him, Phil Naselli. Let's go.
Let's go, Phil. Come on.
Then, that man, 5 years ago, started creating the rhythm for Men's Physique. The man who literally has brought that heartbeat, has brought that passion into the division, helping to perpetuate it forward. Our boy, McGravy, Hart McGrath, let's go.
Let's go.
And your boy, the man who is leading the horde, the one behind the scenes who is helping to push all of this forward along with my two hosts, my special host, the Gaffer, myself, Aline Bolton, IFBB Pro Masters. Let's go.
Come on, Aline. Stand
Let's
up
go.
now.
Happy to be here, ladies and gentlemen. And when I tell you we have a special Arnold update, so many things happening in the men's physique world. I know we say that a lot, but we've got some new judging criteria for men's physique. We have new updates on athletes. We have a bunch of stuff going on. Hart, let them know.
Let them know. Phil, you let them know. What's going on?
Man, not much, man. It's, again, another week closer, another OTS episode to give to the Horde family, supporters, team, tribe, whatever you want to call them. It's exciting times, man. I think now we're less than a month away. Are we less than a month? It's got to be less than 4 weeks.
Yeah,
less than a month away.
Yeah,
We're
weeks.
weeks. We're into days now, which is exciting, man. I'm really, really looking forward to it, man. We've got a lot of updates to kind of dive into. It's good to see that the athletes are starting to really, put those progress photos up, put those shots up, and yeah, like I said, we've got a lot to dive into. Aleem, ready to rock and roll or what?
Man, I'm ready. Went to that MPC seminar yesterday. Wow, what a wealth of information. If you guys don't go to seminars, you might want to really consider going to the seminars that the IFBB NPC puts out because they're phenomenal. You literally get up close and personal with the judges, with athletes, sponsors, the whole nine to talk, discuss, just the direction that things are going, how to get better in terms of your posing. And you know who put this on, guys? It was Steve Payne and Rachel Payne. They run the Southern Showdown Muscle Show out here. They've got they're known for that Goku animated Japanimation kind of vibe for their shows. The medals are cool. It's my first show I ever did and won. It was really dope. And the most outstanding medal that I've won was that show. It just pops out of all the other ones. It's so colorful and it's a vibe. But they do this. They do this seminar. It's a free seminar. So a lot of amateurs showed up. It was packed, bros. When I literally drove up and I got there probably like right at 9 o'clock, the entire parking lot was packed. People were parking on top of like places you shouldn't park. They were parked there, all on the sides of the parking spaces. And it was crazy. I was like, oh my God, what am I walking into? When I walked in, it was stuffed. So, great times. They did it at a school in Lilburn here in Georgia. And they literally had the rooms. So you would walk into a room like a school setting and you'd learn learn about fit models, about men's physique, about open bodybuilding, classic, women's figure, you name it, they had it there. As you walk through the school, there were like booths for vendors and so forth set up. What a vibe. Sid Gillian, 8-time figure champion was there. Brandon Curry, Olympian open bodybuilder was there. Corey Morris. I could go on and on, but it was awesome. You guys got to hit these seminars if you get a chance to go to it because it was awesome. And some new changes coming with men's physique.
Let's be real though. If Brandon Curry was the guy who parked up on the footpath, no ticket inspector's going to book him. surely you just let him go. Like, I'm not touching this guy. We'll let this car slide.
Dude, he's huge. I'm
Massive.
like, that's a big guy.
Massive. I saw him it would have been 5, maybe 6 years ago when he was over here in Australia, maybe even longer than that. It was when he was with, it was him and Ben Pekulski when they were the faces of SciTech. And he was a big boy back then. And this was before he won the Olympia. So I can only imagine how much bigger he is now. That's for sure.
Huge dude. And, what was really cool to see also, just to kind of piggyback off of that, was Tim Gardner was there. He does a lot of the East Coast shows. So Tim Gardner was there. Again, wealth of information. He's behind the scenes on the Olympia. Alan Sizemore was there. Also another judge who participates in a lot of the behind the scenes stuff that happens at the Olympia. So a couple of things that they mentioned, boys, that athletes in general might just want to pay attention to is that they will deduct for doing bodybuilding poses in men's physique, which is something that's a little bit newer. So if you put your hands above your head, like if you go into one of those like hands above you kind of positions, they're going to ding you for that. They don't want to see any like, coming down doing a back bicep pose. They don't want to see any of that stuff. So I think that some of the athletes, your Aaron Banks, Ryan Terry's, Ali Bilal, who does the one hand up and crunch down, like Brandon Hendrickson when he does the turnaround and stuff. Vitor Chavez does one with his hands up. Like these are guys who will need to probably change their posing, at least for the prejudging, in order to not get dinged for that. So that was new to hear because they want to really keep it men's physique in its space and not kind of bleed over into the classic in the open from a posing and physicality perspective. So just something to keep in mind when you're working on your routines.
It's definitely going to make it interesting because I mean, when you think about it, a lot of these transitions are these athletes' trademark moves. Aaron Banks with the explosion type thing. We saw Ryan Terry when he transitioned from the back shot to the front shot, how he had his hands above his head. So, and even Ali Bilal with that side sort of oblique crunch. So it'll be interesting to see if they do push forward with these changes, what sort of transitions these guys come out with. Because
I agree. And you know what else too? That was special. And I think that I wish you boys were there, the three of us, because there were so many fans that were coming up to me, telling me about how much they love our show and how we are, we're breeding that passion and that life back into the division versus, some other people who, talk and have their shows or whatever and come at it from, just a different perspective. They have a different type of energy. Our numbers look like they're going bonkers, so love that. You can see the fan interaction, 14,000 views, 5,000, 10,000, 25,000, views on YouTube. We just started, 15,000. Look at that. Like, I mean, just phenomenal participation and interaction from a lot of the fans. And we are humbled and thankful for you all. Great. All the people who came up to me, meaning us, yesterday, I just want to thank you personally. I know I did there. I hope you can sense how honored and humbled we are to have you guys as fans, and we're so thankful. But as I said all yesterday, subscribe, click the notifications, Men's Physique Show. Let's go.
Let's go. Also, Horde, thank you for 13,000 subscribers the other day. We just passed that. I felt like we just hit 10K, boys, and here we are, 13,000 subs. Can we hit 15 before the Arnold Classic? That would be unreal. That would be absolutely unreal. But let's get into this, guys. We have some updates of the 2026 Arnold Classic. We're less than 4 weeks out, and I love B for this. I love our boy B Henny for this. Special interview dropping shortly. Another reason why you want to subscribe and hit the bell, get notified when we drop these interviews. Brandon Hendrickson working on the #1 body part that he has to bring up if he's going to become the GOAT of the division, if he's going to take down Ryan Terry. Multiple exercises. Let's kind of briefly go through what he's doing, but I'm just happy to see Brandon training it with this type of intensity, ferocity. This is beautiful. And I even commented, I said, okay, I'm taking notes. I'm hitting that second movement for back today. I'll throw it over to you first, Avomp. What is the benefit in turning your body in this second movement to engage the lat a little bit more here?
Turning the body. Oh, okay. I was going to say, I was like, what are you talking about the first one? But the second one, I gotcha. So in regards to this one, this is very similar to what I've said multiple times throughout our shows. I mean, the best way to engage something like the lat is to create a direct line from your lat to your elbow, to your wrist, to your cable. And by sitting side on, Brandon is actually able to do this a lot more effectively. The only change that I would make, if it was me, was if I was going to do that left hand, I'd be facing the other way. And the reason why is, as you can see, as he's pulling down now, he's coming out wide. So if he was to put that cable where it is right now, the handle in that left hand, to my point, and what I normally say is that'll create a direct line. So he's coming straight down this way as opposed to this way. I feel like doing it in this style, it will target a little bit more rear delt. If that's something that he's looking to work, then hey, that's probably a good variation for him. But I feel like if he was to do, or if he was trying to target lats, the cable should have been on the other side. What he's also doing, and this is where if someone is going to do this variation, he's creating a nice stable base. And if you look at his right leg right now, he's got that wedged under the pad. If most people tried this variation, that would probably be the last thing that they would think of. So like I said, by wedging that leg under that leg pad, gets him more stable. He's able to generate more power that way and move the weight more efficiently.
I love that. Aleem, I would love to have you break down this movement. What is Brandon Hendrickson doing to bring up his back so we can take down Ryan Terry? There's a lot of viewers out there that want to bring up their back. Help us get a better back. What's going on here?
So this is a row that is specifically targeting that medial or the middle part of your Christmas tree. If you notice, like, it's a closer grip, then you'll sometimes see him do a wider grip in this position. So he'll use a wider bar, lat pull down bar, or he'll use the rope and come out a little bit further with the rope. The further apart your hands are, the more you go out on the muscle. So you start to drift off towards the ends or outer parts of the muscle, right? With the hands being close here, he's targeting more the medial, the middle portion of his lower traps and his Christmas tree. So that's what he's doing here. And if you notice the technique here, he's pulling in towards his belly button. So he's going right in the direction, like if the pain and the direction of the cable is going right to the muscle, and he's pulling with the back first as opposed to the biceps first. So his engagement right there, like his engagement is right there. He's not, you can tell because his back is contracting before his arms are really contracting. And it's a split second to see, but his back is doing the contraction first, and then the arms are following behind it. The other variation to this, again, is to have that straight bar and to come down, and the hips are going forward just a little bit, right? To contract, again, is keeping that contraction into the back. Pulling it is his lower torso isn't just staying out, it's actually contracting. So it's forcing his hips in a little bit, and he's just maximizing that exercise, really getting the muscles to do the work that are supposed to do the work versus other muscles doing the work. A lot of times people transfer the connection to their biceps, and their biceps are doing more of the pulling here instead of the back. So he's phenomenal. That's why he's got such a crazy looking Christmas tree.
I love that. I actually want to try this. When I hit back tomorrow, instead of doing the straight bar kind of pullovers, I'm going to try this because that just looks like it's hitting how it needs to. Some assisted pull-ups, pretty straightforward here, guys. Nice and controlled is what I see from Brandon. Nice wide grip, targeting the outer lats. I think Brandon needs to get wider and thicker, so it's nice to see him. He's kind of training all parts of his back through this movement. But again, the main thing that I see is the control. It's the full range of motion. His chin is going above the bar. He's going all the way down, stretching his lats and controlling the back. I'm sure his mind-muscle connection here is peaking, is a 10 out of 10. Avomp, another movement for Brandon Hendrickson. Explain it to the viewers. What is he doing here?
Yeah, so this is a single arm cable row. He's got this is like more of a lat biased variation. I like how he's using the single hand grip, because when you're trying to work the lat and you're doing it with a V grip, you're actually limited with your range of motion because of the rib cage and because of where you're forced to stop. You're unable to actually bring your elbow back far enough to actually engage the lat. So what I like here is exactly what I said, and what I said earlier, how he's kind of leaning slightly to the side, trying to shave his lat as he comes back and hit that lat more effectively. What I also like is that foot position. That's how I personally do my seated cable rows, where my legs are in a bit of an L formation. By doing that, you give yourself more clearance so that you are able to bring that arm all the way back rather than be restricted by something like your leg. And B's got some good legs. I mean, he's got bigger legs than what I do. So it's good that he's bringing that leg nice and wide to just give himself more room to be able to execute that movement. But I like this. I like this.
Couldn't agree more. Aleem, wow, look at this. I mean, some gyms don't have this handle, but if you do, what is he doing here, Gaffa?
Yeah, that's the Prime handles. Prime makes these handles. I mean, there are some bootleg ones that are there too. I have these handles myself in my garage gym, and they just give you a different type of feel. Especially, these are both isolateral lat pull downs that he's doing right here. So you notice that Brandon is a little bit further away from the machine. It looks like his knees are in the forefront or just underneath the pads. Mm-hmm. And that's because of the way that the L shape of the grips are. Because they're L shaped and you have more of a runway on the handles, he sits back a little bit further so he can target those muscles and kind of keep the elbows in front of him as much as possible instead of coming behind him. That allows the lat to stretch up front and then contract in the back right in the front. And again, that's more so concentrating on those lower lats. It covers everything. I mean, you get the top, you get the upper lats also, but it's more those lower lats that are being targeted here in this movement. Phenomenal job.
Sick.
There's another one too, just FYI, that's the super lat pull down that comes out and around. That's also another great variation to this movement. Very dope. Panada makes it and New Tech. Yeah.
Love it. And then moves on to some biceps. I love B, man, because as the Mr. Olympia, as the guy who has the most pressure on him to win this show, who's going to get laughed at the most, if he loses this show, I love how much he updates us with his physique. I mean, last week we talked about this. Back looks better. Front always looks money. And then training sessions. Like, what other guy is giving us these types of updates? And it's our Mr. Olympia.
I was going to say, just quickly on that before you get into the stories, he knows that the back, I mean, he knows that the back is the area that needs to be improved the most. I don't know if you guys realize, but every single exercise he did or he does on his back day are all one-handed isolation exercises. Mm-hmm. The reason for that is he needs to focus on his weaknesses, and by doing the exercises one hand at a time, he now is able to strengthen those weaknesses as opposed to have the stronger side dominate the lift. And that's something that a lot of people can kind of take on board when they're doing their own training. I mean, if you're someone who needs to prioritize a body part, always utilize the isolateral movements, the single hand movements, because like I just mentioned, if your dominant hand is assisting in the movement, the dominant side is going to continue to get stronger and the weaker side's always going to lag behind. So yeah, nice little tip there from Brandon.
One more thing too, and if you have a weaker side, start with that side when you're freshest, because then you can really get the most out of it. And small suggestion would be end on the weaker side also. So you get like an extra set in versus your dominant side to help it build up, depending on how far back behind it is lagging from your more dominant side. So just another additional, tip that you might want to consider to build up and expedite that weaker side coming up to your stronger side.
Appreciate that, boys. Obviously, Hendrickson Naturals, the #1 apple cider. Aleem, you still taking those? You still hoofing those down?
If I showed you guys how many are left, I just ordered 2 more. I was
going to say, it's probably got none left.
I just ordered 2 more. Everyone in my house takes them. They love them. So my son is like, I think he's sneaking like 3 or 4 of them at a time. You're supposed to take 2. Wife's taking 2 a day. I take 2 a day. Bro, like I'm almost done and I've only had it for like a week and some change. So yeah, we're not sponsored by them, but damn, it's a great product. I got to tell you.
I got to get me some. Here we are again, boys. I mean, this is why you tune into the Men's Physique Show. If you missed Brandon's story, this is just 2 hours ago. Again, going at the back. I think it's clear. How many days a week, boys, would you say, damn, dude, he looks so good. How many days a week would you say Brandon's hitting back for this prep? 2 or 3?
Twice, yeah. I think anything more than twice a week doesn't give you enough time to heal, to repair.
The way he's hitting it, yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Phil, what do you think?
I would say, I'm going to go against what you say, Aleem, because I think 3 times, he could probably hit this 3 times. If he was to do like a Monday, a Wednesday, a Friday, or a Monday, Wednesday, Saturday, he's got a day or 2 in between every single training session. That being said, he's probably hitting chest a couple times a week as well. He's probably doing a leg day. I mean, as a men's physique athlete, you can kind of, and I don't want to kind of promote this, but you can kind of neglect the legs a little bit because it's not a leg show. Yes, you want to have the balance between top and bottom, but the priority when it comes to men's physique is obviously above the waist. So to allocate a lot more training volume to the upper body and kind of limit the amount that you put towards your legs is what I would believe a lot of these guys are doing. But I would say, 2 to 3 times a week for sure he'd be hitting it.
Yeah, I love that. It's so cool to see Brandon listening to the advice of probably the judges, but more so the Men's Physique show, and us telling him, bro, bring up that back, and you're right there with Ryan Terry. We talk about all the time the front. It's interchangeable to me. I think for all of us, between Terry and Brandon, it's a 10 out of 10. The back, I'd give Terry, obviously. And then Brandon is not too far behind. I love the split in his bicep when he's hitting this. And again, just the intensity of how he's hitting this. Some rear delts here. The veins are creeping everywhere. And wow, the latest update of Brandon Hendrickson, less than 30 days out of the Arnold Classic. Who is the guy in the back not paying attention to this freak of a physique, man?
Is that Joey?
Anomaly.
Is that
I don't know who that is. Oh, Joey.
He might have just filmed him. He might have just filmed him. He's like, let me make sure I got this. He's
phone.
You know, like
guys, he looks incredible. I mean, no, there's not one other person. Maybe, I mean, who to me takes a similar photo that looks really, really good is Deiu. Between him and Deiu, they're about even, but Brandon just has that graininess and that muscle maturity that I think Deiu obviously will form in the coming. I mean, I think Brandon has 6, 7, 8, 9 years on Deiu in terms of age, but Brandon looks good, boys. That's the latest update of your Mr. Olympia 3-time. We're 4 weeks out. Let's go. Next breaking news in the division, Ben Quill is coming for that title. He is done with people talking shit on his name and telling him in the men's physique world he's not going to even be in that top 3, that top 4. I think in Ben's mind, he thinks he's going to take this Arnold Classic title. He's posting like crazy, just as much as Brandon. Let's start with this. I mean, just today, go 1, 2, 3, 4 updates. We're going to talk about them all. Throw it over to the GAFA first. Here's Ben Quill's back. And we have to remember, yes, he's doing the Arnold Classic, but in 3 weeks' time, he's also doing the Japan Pro. Aleem, the GAFA, what do you think of Ben Quill? He says he's headed to DC for the weekend, and then it's game time. What do you think?
Man, we say this a lot about Ben Quill. He's just one of those guys who has put in a miraculous amount of work to expedite the growth of his back and his chest. Little waist. I mean, look at that waist in comparison to his shoulders right now. Very little space between the lats and the arms in that pose. I mean, he looks, I might just bend in those forearms just a little bit, but it looks incredible. Totally, he's come up tremendously since a couple of years ago with the back. Again, something that was his more of a weakness for him is now becoming a strength. So kudos to him on that. Again, I just got to say, man, like if he were to win this, what it does for his brand recognition, I hope he has some things in place, because if he really believes that he's going to win and take first, and he does, he's got to have his business in place, because he's going to skyrocket quick, and you might want to capitalize on that. If it were us, we're going to be prepared, and we're going to want to capitalize on it. Gear, swag, supplements, and everything. And he's got his supplements that he just dropped, so I think he's ready to go there. But the recognition and the attention that he'll get, beating the likes of Andrei Deiu, Vitor Chavez, Emmanuel Hunter, and Brandon Hendrickson, and Dilson would just be phenomenal. More so those first 4 guys I mentioned, but certainly Dilson is an athlete that you want to consider. He's dangerous, for sure. So that's my opinion. Great job, man, and I just hope he continues to have that relentless effort that he's putting into the diet and the training, and keeping his cortisol levels low, because he could look like this and the day of the show get there and be pissed off at everything and everyone, and cortisol levels spike, and it just changes your look. So hopefully he's being well aware of that, and keeping the salt and the water intake balanced, especially this close to the show.
Love it. Thank you, Gaffa. Avon, I'm going to hand it off to you, but before I do, I got 2 separate questions. While you watch this and dissect his physique, yes, I want you to tell me how he's looking. This is updated 18 hours ago, guys. So this is, again, the latest update of Ben Quill. Give me a physique breakdown on Ben Quill 4 weeks out. Also, I want to know, what placing does Ben Quill need to have in order for it kind of not to be a disappointment? Meaning, is third place still solid? Is fourth place still solid? Is second place still solid? If he doesn't win, what other placing do you see for Ben Quill where it's like, bro, he still did amazing? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Now, in terms of his physique, like you can just tell this guy's working and he's working hard. I know he actually was I think he was doing another seminar yesterday where he was helping the younger MPC guys with their posing and stuff like that. So it's good that this guy is still, 3 weeks out from his first show and he's still, making appearances and helping out, other generations and other athletes with their, with their own careers and their own journeys. In terms of his physique, I've always said he's got a really, really good physique. The aesthetics on this guy is beautiful. I mean, he's got the nice lines. You can tell how much improvements he's made since the Olympia last year, since Sasquatch last year. And this guy is going to continue to be better. Now, in terms of where I think what was the question? So where he would place to not feel like he was
what's a successful placing for Ben Quill if he doesn't take first?
I think anything in the top 5, to be honest with you. Anything in the top 5, and you got to remember, like, based on the lineup, I mean, I know in Ben Quill's mind, like, he doesn't want anything less than the win. And I agree. I mean, if you're an athlete, if you're at the level of these guys, like, you're going in there to win. If you're not going in there with the mentality to win, you may as well stay home because you've lost the battle before you've even entered the war, right? So in my eyes, based on the lineup that we've got to remember there's so many top 10 Olympians at this show. Now, Ben Quill beats one of those top 10 Olympians. That's the improvement. I mean, he came, what was he, 10th at the Olympia? Was he 10th or 11th at the Olympia?
I think a little bit outside 10th, 11th maybe.
11th.
Yeah.
So even so, like, he beats one of these top 10 guys, whether it be a Vitor, whether it be an Andrei, whether it be a Brandon, whether it be any of those guys. Like, that's enough to, in my eyes, to be like, okay, he's made improvements. He's better than some of the top 10 guys. And that'll just give him so much momentum leading into the Arnold UK, leading into other shows that he may do throughout the year, and even more so leading into the 2026 Mr. Olympia.
I love that. He got 12th. Aleem, you got anything on this?
Yeah, I would say that a failure would be anything in that lower quadrant, right? So coming in 12th, 11th, anything that I would say 8th or below is not a success for him. Just at where he's at in his career, the brand recognition, the wins that he's had in the past, how much he's brought up, everything else. That would mean that something probably happened and he didn't peak correctly. For him to end there, the cortisol level is really high. The salt is not there. He spills over, like something comes in flat. Ben Quill is known to have an eye for physiques. I mean, I remember him coming up to me telling me that I looked flat when I came into a show, and he was 100% correct. And there's, I missed a flight. My flight was delayed. I didn't miss it, but the flight was delayed. I didn't get a couple of meals in because of the delay, so forth and so on. And he hit it right on the head. I mean, it impacts your placing. But if he comes in, let's say between like seventh and probably fifth. Okay. I mean, conversation there. Is there really an improvement? I mean, you're a lot of people are expecting him to come somewhere in between fifth and seventh. He kind of hits it right there with a lot of commentators are thinking. Anything that is like that fifth or really fourth and above, I mean, I think is a win for him. He comes in fourth and above. That means you've knocked someone else out of that fifth placing, and there's conversation to be had. And those are your top guys. Those are guys who are ranking in that top 10 at the O. So you're beating those guys and you're knocking them off. That means there's obviously progress that has surpassed their progress because everyone's moving up. It's not just him. Everybody is elevating their game. We see Vitor Chavez elevating his game, Emmanuel Hunter elevating his game, Brandon Hendrickson, Andrei Deiu, and that includes the posing. That includes, their diet going in and how they're looking going into the show, muscle bellies, everything, the graininess, everything is there. And you're talking about the guys who are all going to come in condition, so they're normally not off. He can't be off. And I think that that's a win for him. So anything that is fourth or above, we got to clap. One changes the game for him. If he comes in and wins, his life changes, his brand, his recognition, everything changes.
Yeah. I agree with you, boys. The thing with Ben Quill, it's I think something we can't deny is how much progression we have seen with his physique over the last year or two. His back, his chest, everything is just it makes me feel like, and I've always felt this, but his ceiling is very high in this sport, and it starts from that waist and the shape. And if he continues on this path, I think it's only a matter of time where he is someone, getting top 5 at the Olympia. He is someone winning these Arnold Classics. I cannot wait for this show. We are 30 days out, and I want to thank Ben Quill for giving us these updates, because a lot of guys are staying silent, and there's nothing more I hate when guys are staying silent about their physiques and their training. And we got a bunch of updates from Ben Quill.
Facts.
3 weeks out of the Japan Pro, another update of his shape. Things are coming together. The back looks damn good, boys. The back looks good. Everything looks good. Ben Quill, we were rooting for you, brother. 3 weeks out from Japan, 4 weeks out from the Arnold Classic. More news in the men's physique division. Emmanuel Hunter has given us a cheeky update, and it was sent to us. I don't think he put it in his story. We had to find it through WhatsApp. I think he sent it to us.
Yeah, he sent it directly to us. Yeah.
So we got an exclusive update from Emmanuel Hunter. I don't even know if he wants this out, but we're going to give him some flowers, because how could you not? How could you be commentating on this physique and not give this guy his flowers for how he looks? Yes, we critique where critique is necessary, and we'll do that here. But how can you not like this physique? I'll throw it over to Avon first. What do you think of Emmanuel Hunter 4 weeks out? How is he looking specifically from the front?
Yeah, he looks great. I mean, I feel like with Emmanuel, I think it was Mike that said Emmanuel is the hardest man that he's ever had to peak. And I think his new coach, Will's got his work cut out for him. Hopefully they've worked enough together to be able to, tweak around with things, sodium, potassium levels, carbs, the works. But in terms of how he's looking right now, like, he looks great. He looks very, very good. I feel like in terms of the conditioning, though, there are still athletes based on this photo. And again, it could be the lighting. It is a little bit dark in there. In terms of the conditioning from the front, I feel like he is a little bit behind compared to someone like the likes of Ben Quill. I feel like Ben Quill's a lot sharper at the moment. Brandon is a lot sharper at the moment, but I shouldn't say a lot sharper. I think they just got the edge on Emmanuel at the moment. But the guy is round, he's bubbly, those arms are full. This has to be after a chest day, because that chest is full as well. But I like Ben Quill. I like Ben Quill as well, but I like Emmanuel and where he is right now. And in 4 weeks' time, like, this guy's going to look good. That's for sure.
I think that, looking at the two athletes, they were separated 11th and 12th position. So Emmanuel came in 11th last year at the Olympia, and Ben Quill came in 12th. They were separate by 4 points, going obviously towards Emmanuel. And Emmanuel dropped from 4th place the year prior in 2024 to 11th place. But we also know, based off of what he told us in our interview, that's just doing great with Emmanuel Hunter, that he had a lot of stress. His mom was hospitalized and was going through some challenges the day before. He had a friend who had passed away that was near and dear to him, that he had known forever, that had just happened. So he had a lot of stress. Again, we're talking about cortisol levels spiking, and it messing with your look can also mess with your digestion. It messes with your headspace. It changes a lot. We saw Edvon Palmera come in second behind Dilson because of the stress and the cortisol levels when, something blew up down the block, a house blew up down the block, producing drugs or whatnot, and shattered his house, the windows, the roof caved in right before him getting on the show. So we're human beings. And to think that, you have a show the day of, you're going into it, and then something dramatic happens in your life, it's not going to impact you and increase your cortisol levels. It does. And that's going to impact your look and your performance, no matter what sport you're in. So I think that just looking at the two athletes, Emmanuel has a better chest right now. I think Ben Quill has a better abdominal area and oblique area right now. We turn to the back. Ben Quill has come up on the back, but Emmanuel Hunter still has your top 1-2 backs in the entire game. So, that's kind of what we're playing with right now. Will Ben Quill close that gap enough to beat Emmanuel Hunter becomes the question mark. But again, another guy that if he wins this, it changes his entire life is Emmanuel Hunter. If Emmanuel Hunter wins this, he has everything to gain, really, like Ben Quill does from a brand recognition. The Hunter Classic that he's doing, right, skyrockets because now you have the winner of the Arnold Classic. He's just won. The attention that you get on the Hunter Classic becomes, it just skyrockets. It's out of here. So just another guy we're rooting for. Looks amazing, and can't wait to see how everything shakes out here in the next 3/4 weeks, because that's what we're looking at right now.
Couldn't agree more. More.
Question for
Yes,
you,
sir.
Hart. I know you said
Yep.
Ben Quill had a high ceiling in the sport. I believe Emmanuel Hunter also has a high ceiling in this sport as well. Who do you believe has the highest ceiling in this sport?
Ooh, between Ben Quill and E-Man?
And yeah,
Man, that is the best question of the month of February.
and we're only 9 days in.
And we're only 9
Agreed.
days in, and just because Emmanuel's placed better than Ben Quill at the Olympia before, and just because Emmanuel has beaten Ben Quill many times before, I don't even want to say Emmanuel. I don't know, bro. That is such a good question, and I think only time will tell. I don't even think it's a matter of their physiques. I mean, I feel like the body parts are going to be there for both of them. So it's almost like what's going to happen off the stage, mentality wise, and who can stay the most locked in for the longest, especially in the off seasons, especially when life hits you hard, who can continue to improve. I think whoever can continue to improve the most over the next 3 to 6 years will decide it. I think both Emmanuel Hunter and Ben Quill, both of these guys within the next few years, we'll see consistently in that top 7, top 8, maybe top 6 at the Mr. Olympia. Consistently, like when Brandon's gone, who's going to be battling at the Arnold Classic? It's going to be the Bens, it's going to be the Manuals, it's going to be the Vitor still and the Deus, and that's going to be the case for any other big pro show. Like those guys will always be in that top 2, top 3. So that's a really good question. And maybe I can ask the men's physique community, who do you guys see between Emmanuel Hunter and Ben Quill having the highest ceiling in the men's physique division? Meaning, who has the highest potential? Who has the chances of becoming the Mr. Olympia and winning the most pro shows and being the standard one day? Would you say it's Ben Quill or would you say it's Emmanuel? Gaffa, what do you think?
I think the one who would have the biggest impact would have to be Ben Quill, only because Emmanuel Emax has beat him every time up until this point. So you'd have to go with the underdog, quote unquote, as the one who would benefit the most from a win, right? Winning the number 1 spot at the Arnold. So I'd have to say Ben Quill would have the biggest, like, celebratory opportunity out of the two. But
what ceiling?
Ceiling, Emmanuel has so many things. I mean, so does Ben Quill from outside of like off the stage. Shout out to our show. I can see Emmanuel. I would have to say the biggest ceiling might still go to Ben Quill, again, because of how much ground he would have to make up. So that would just mean he has a little bit more ceiling space to reach than Emmanuel Hunter. I think that the immediate impact, like with the Hunter Classic and some of the other things that Emmanuel Hunter is involved in, that he was able to share with us in the interview and continues to share with us, behind the scenes and whatnot. I just think he has so much business going on right now that if he wins, it sets him up very nicely and it expedites that curve from standing these things up to actually getting a lot of attention and a lot of support because you've won and all the bells and whistles that comes from winning. I think that he instantaneously acquires all of that, and it helps to put him in the A spot, the lion's share of those conversations and those connections and relationships than the B side of things. Not that he's on the B side, but it gives him more leverage for sure. So that's my take on it.
Yeah, for sure. I like those answers, boys. Good stuff.
All
I was
right,
gonna say, while we're here, just to kind of touch on what you said, Hart, guys, if you haven't already, number one, put your answers down below. We want to see what you guys think. Is it Ben Quill? Is it E-Man? Who's got the highest potential and the highest ceiling, I should say, in this sport? And while you're here, hang on, Hart, before I get into this, do you have anything else to say about E-Man?
No, I'm just liking your shit.
No, awesome. All right. Well, after you've done that, guys, if you haven't already, if you are enjoying the episode up until this point, make sure to hit the subscribe button. You know, the sport is continuing to grow. The Men's Physique show is continuing to grow. We can only do it with your support. So if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button, tap the bell icon to get notified every single time a episode goes live. And also, don't forget, take a photo, take a screenshot of the episode, put it in your story on IG, tag the Men's Physique Show Official, Hart McGrath, Aline Bolton, and Philip Naselli, and we'll repost that on our stories as well.
Love it. Love it. Hey, boys, also, shout out to Liz Hunter. She was there yesterday. She's a fit model, and she's got to stop doing lats. I mean, the judges were like, through osmosis, just being around Emmanuel Hunter, I think you just gain lats naturally, right? Just by like rubbing up against him, your lats start to grow. And she's got like really great lats, but too great for fit model division. So I think she's, bringing that down, like Andrei Deiu, hyper responder, especially for that division, and wants to streamline the look. So shout out to her for just being so phenomenal, being an excellent athlete, being becoming more and more of a business mogul behind the scenes with their 100 Classic and the other things that they're doing and looking to do in the near future. They're a powerhouse together. So great to see those two doing their thing. She really represented big time yesterday at the seminar. Great to see. She gave a lot of women inspiration, guidance, help for the fit division. So it was awesome to see.
Love that. Absolutely love that. Shout out to you, Liz, and shout out to you, man. Power couple right there. Let's go over to China. Some latest breaking news in the men's physique division. Horde, men's physique community, Phil, Avomp, Aleem the Gaffa. Have you ever seen someone warm up backstage at a bodybuilding show with a cigarette in their mouth?
I gotta say, that's one way to warm up. That's for sure. The whole body would that whole body would be warm with that dart in his mouth.
Holy shit!
I've never seen this. I don't know if this is AI. Nah, this can't be AI generated. You reckon it's AI generated?
No, this is
I think
legit,
it's real.
bro. This is
He
legit.
does this shit.
Bro, he's the same guy. He's our boy that does this. Remember, Phil, when you were taking screenshots of this and saving it for later?
Yeah,
it's the same stuff.
When I saw that photo of him smoking, he's got someone drying his tan off. I thought, I mean, you don't know what's real these days with social media. You don't know if it's AI generated or whatnot. But if he's actually doing this is hilarious. I mean, when we think about bodybuilding, it's all about health. Well, bodybuilding is not the healthiest sport in the world, but when you think about going to the gym and the fitness culture, it's all about staying fit. But yeah, Zhao just always seems to impress me with this one and amaze me at times. But this is funny. And you know what I love about this? The guy's like, he's got a personality on him. Like we saw him with the outfit a couple of weeks back. Now he's doing this. Yeah, it's hilarious. I don't know how many other athletes you'd see doing this. I mean, I know there's can we talk about vapes on the show? Is that a YouTube thing? Can we talk about vapes? Well, I don't know anymore.
I don't know.
I don't know. But let's talk about it.
Late.
Anyway. Too late. Yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, I know. I'm not going to promote this, but I know a lot of athletes like to vape throughout their preps to kind of control, the hunger and the cravings, whatnot. So I don't know if we're going to see more vaping behind the scenes and behind the stage. That's for sure. But no, I mean, it's a funny take on Zhao. That's for sure.
Yeah, I think Zhao smoking. I mean, not the best thing to smoke. If you were going to smoke something, 420's coming up, you might want to consider, the other shrubbery, maybe get some trees instead, but maybe mellow him out a little too much. It's definitely, bait clicking for sure. You're going to get a lot of people who look at this and go, what's going on here? Bodybuilders smoking cigarettes, but I guess that's his thing. I mean, we've seen him now, 2 major updates where he's, smoking. Literally smoking cigarettes. So I would rather see 420. We have something great coming out on 420. Fans, you're going to want to watch that interview that's dropping. Also, February 14th, Valentine's Day. Gotta watch that interview that's coming out. It's going to be phenomenal. It's our gift to you guys. Better than chocolate, better than flowers. The interview that we're dropping is phenomenal. So you definitely want to check that out. But Zhao smoking, yeah, man, like he's just an interesting guy, interesting character, helps to liven up and not make it so rigid, certainly going a different direction than many of the other athletes who don't smoke at all are going. They don't smoke any cigarettes whatsoever. So it might be in, just a cultural thing over there that he chooses to do. But love to see this guy, his physique. Don't necessarily like to see the smoking, but to each their own.
Hell of a chest on him. Did you guys see the striations rippling in the chest? Insane chest.
Yeah.
Not here when he turns to this one and he does it. Check this out, Horde. I mean, that is
bang.
You can just see his skin moving, and it's a pretty sight, man. That's why I like bodybuilding. These physiques go crazy. Zhao, the man of the hour, with some surprising content for the bodybuilding world to see. Couple more topics, guys. Aaron Banks has been updating about his toy car. No, we're going to talk about his physique. He says basic. What do you think he means by that, Avon?
I got no idea because his physique isn't basic at all. I'm trying to work it out. I don't know. You've put me on the spot. What could be basic about this? I mean, he's basically looking amazing. Maybe that's what he means by it. But I mean,
I like the tippy toes.
I like the tippy toe. Yeah, I don't know. He's got the Instagram poses on lock. I mean, I know the females like to put 1 foot forward, 1 foot back. I don't know that if that's why he's doing it, but he's definitely showing off those
fit model.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, what is it? Is it wellness model? Right? Yeah.
Wellness. Yeah, there is absolutely nothing basic about this. This is insane. Is this a recent photo though? Is this a recent shot? You reckon?
It looks fairly recent, but I mean, you don't truly know. I mean, here is a very recent picture of Aaron. You can kind of see him behind the tank top. I'm not sure, brother. I'm not sure, but what do you think of his legs? Being a 6'2" athlete, what do you think of his legs?
One thing's for sure, and it's very hard to get a decent set of legs when you're taller. This guy breaks the mold when it comes to that. This guy's got striations on his legs. He's got thick quads. He's got nice quads. It's a shame that he's got to cover them up in board shorts. But now with the shorts getting a little bit shorter, at least he's able to kind of show it off to the world. Because I did say it earlier that a lot of men's physique guys are neglecting the leg training because it is an upper body sport. Let's be real. But who knows? The way that the sport has been evolving, I mean, who knows? Will shorts get shorter? Will legs become part of the judging criteria? I mean, they're going to need to be if the shorts are getting shorter. But yeah, great set of wheels at him for a tall guy, that's for sure. Aleem, what are your thoughts?
I think there's a couple of athletes in men's physique that could cross over to classic, and Aaron Banks is one of those guys. He continues to add more muscle on the legs. I could see him literally moving right into classic physique and dominating. He's a tall guy with a lot of muscle on the frame, and I think that he might even be holding back the amount of muscle that he could put on that frame. His shoulders, the other picture that you showed just a little while ago, Hart, which one is it? Yeah, that one. Look how capped his shoulders are and how bubbly the chest is. This is an Aaron Banks we haven't seen before. Super capped shoulders. He's just got a beautiful X frame to his physique, especially being so tall. He stands out. Again, I think that if he were to decide in the future, maybe in a couple of years, to move into classic, it'd be an easy transition for him. Maybe take a year off and just continue to add another, 5 to 10 pounds of just lean muscle on. He could certainly do it. He has the genetics to add that type of strength and muscle to his physique. He trains like that. He lifts a lot like the classic guys with 5-6 plates on deadlifts. That's difficult unto itself. It's a lot of weight. So Aaron Banks, wow, super athlete. We saw him playing paddleball. We saw the guy snowboarding. We see him racing cars, motorcycles, the whole nine. Aaron Banks is an every guy's guy. That's the kind of guy he is. He's a guy's guy. So,
yeah.
Love to see it, man.
Yeah. If we all went to a Super Bowl party with Aaron, we'd have a damn good time.
Facts.
This is what I'm talking about. Let's bring up the past Aaron Banks and what he looks like. I love when he gets, this isn't him now. This is him, obviously, looks like a few weeks before a show. But we can't forget, when this guy shows up, he shows up. And when the conditioning is spot on, I don't care who's going to the show. Who are you going to have beating Aaron? That's a bet I wouldn't want to take from the front or from the back. Avon, what do you see? You're looking at this.
I mean, there's a reason why he's got one of the best backs in the division. That's for sure. Like, it's just this guy has got such an insane physique. Like even the chest, like I know we've spoken about the chest, but just look how full that is. Look how round. There's like, is there a flaw in that chest that you guys can see? Like it's literally like he's put an armor plate on him. He's a gladiator. He's got that. You know, when you think of like those, what is it? Almost like the Spartans, for example. Aleem, this will be up your alley because I know you're into history and stuff. You know that metal armor suit that they put on? It was like all sculpted and chiseled. It's like he's got one of those on permanently. Like, yeah, this guy, like you said, hard. Like when Aaron Banks is on, he is on. And he's a very, very hard man to beat. No, from the front and from the back. There's a reason why the guys won the O in the past. So, hopefully this year, I mean, we see more improvements. Obviously, last year wasn't his best year, but hopefully he can take something away from what happened in 2025. And then when we see him throughout the 2026 season, this guy's going to blow everyone's minds again.
Aaron Leonidas Banks? Is that what
I like
at?
that. Aaron Leonidas.
That's what I'm going with.
Dude, yeah, he definitely has that chest plate physique. I agree. Looks like a Spartan warrior for sure with that chest plate. For sure. Yeah, he gets it right, man. And remember that was something he had to bring up. Remember, like after he had won the year he came in second and then even won, part of the critique was, bring that shelf up on that chest. That's a man who said, say less. Got right to it. Literally raised his chest plate up, the shelf on the top, raised it, looks phenomenal. Hart, you hit the nail on the head. A conditioned Aaron Banks going into any show is so dangerous for that first slot. And I don't care who you put up against him. Ryan Terry, Brandon, Ali Bilal, anybody. If Aaron comes in crispy, like bacon crispy,
it's done.
I mean, if the physiques are almost identical, he's probably going to win in the back with most people other than Emmanuel Hunter at this point. Maybe Paul Kostov is up there in terms of that back. Those top three backs. Andrei Deiu is up there, but the thickness though, he's just thicker than Andrei, I think, and maybe a little bit wider. It's like, wow, who's beating him? I like Aaron a lot. He just has to come in, chisel. Mm. That's it.
Aleem, you said something, and it's like it's so incredible to me that I feel like it almost should be spoken about every time we talk about Aaron because people just forget. And I know there's only one person in the entire world who's done it like Aaron has, but that was 13 years ago. And it was your very first Mr. Olympia, your very first season as a pro. You get second at the Mr. Olympia.
It's crazy.
That's wild. That's why. And then you back, and then the next year you come and you win.
Mm.
Like, bro, I don't believe
Who's doing that.
I don't believe that's ever going to happen again. Like I don't, especially with the caliber of athletes and how it's just getting better and better and better and better. Yeah. I don't see that ever happening again, ever. I just don't, unless we just get some freak out of nowhere. But like, I think of like Deiu. Like Deiu can't do that. I mean, he's right in the mix, but he didn't do what Aaron did, bro. I don't, unless it's a prodigy that we don't see coming. No one else was going to do that, bro. I just don't see it.
You never know.
Posing, the look, everything.
There might be someone out there that we haven't spoken about before.
There might be. He may be 7 years old right now, but
that's right.
Yeah,
what
about may be happening?
Have you guys
that guy
seen...
Sugar Shane looks good. That guy Sugar Shane has a huge upside.
Yeah, I was going to say
with his pendulum.
Have you seen that that young kid? I think he's about 17 years old. His name's Julian. I think he's training with Hani Rambod.
Yeah, but isn't he the one who's more on the open side? Isn't he looking at 212 or something like that? That's his.
He probably is, but I feel like he's the type of kid. I mean, if everything goes his way and the stars align, he could be one of those guys. Even if it's not for the men's physique division, but he could be one of those guys that does his first ever season as a pro because genetically, this guy's got it all. Do you want to look him up, Hart? Do you want to look him up?
Yeah. What do you? So Jay.
So Julian, Julian, and I think it's the second.
Are you talking about the black kid with the biceps?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
This kid's like 17 years old.
Yeah, he looks great.
That's AI
that's
right there. But yeah, that's
yeah.
Like,
yeah, I see him more of like open
bodybuilder
eventually. Yeah, but yeah.
But he's the type of kid that I could see, going into his first comp, winning his pro card, qualifying for the Olympia, maybe getting, 5th place, 6th place, and maybe winning it one day. But again, the guy's still young. I mean, anything can happen between now and the next couple of years. A guy could decide, hey, I'm not going to do bodybuilding. It's not for me. But based on where he is now, like, he's a freak.
He's one of those Keon genetically gifted athletes. He's not even on gear. I think he just started gear maybe with Hani. He hasn't even been on gear, and he looks like just chiseled. Look at the lower lats, the thickness. I mean, he's just blessed, man.
All I'm saying is
some people just, and this is what the IFBB is looking for. They're looking for these guys that are just naturally gifted, and then with the right coaching and the discipline and the meals and the recovery, you throw a great tan on them, show them some great posing, and you get, sorry about that, guys, you get him right. This guy has a lot of upside. He's got to work on his legs, obviously, for classic or open, but I know Hani Rambod, he sees it all. He's got it all. He's going to make sure that this kid, when he hits the stage, it's just on point, and he's a sniper. Look at his bicep, dude. Like,
exactly.
Phil Heath has had this type of level of special genetics. This kid exudes that, and maybe even better, at this stage, at the same stage in their careers. You look at Phil Heath at the same stage in his career with Hani, and you look at this kid. I'm giving it to this kid from a bicep, arms, bubbly, muscle bellies are just super bubbly, especially in the abdominal area. I don't think that Phil Heath had the same level of abdominal bubbliness like this kid does. This kid reminds me of Emil Walker with the abs, and he's not even a men's physique guy, So,
yeah,
there's two things I'm going to say. If this guy's taking your lunch money at school, you're giving it to him and you're telling him to keep the change.
Well, no, on my crazy ass, I'm fighting. Like me, I'm probably like, you're not taking it over my dead body, and he probably still takes it.
I'll say we'll go get lunch. We'll go get lunch together. But I mean, Hani Rambod knows exactly what he's doing. The guy has an eye for Olympians. Based on his caliber, he's worked with pretty much an Olympian in every single category. So for him to be linking up with someone like this kid, he knows he's got potential. And like I said, who knows? We could see this guy on that Olympia stage, and even more so, maybe win an Olympia in the future years.
Crazy. We're excited for you, Julian. Last topic of the day. I want to talk about Guillermo Guelberto out of Brazil, because this is going to be a guy, I'm telling you, in the next few years, where he's going to be consistently in that top 10. He's going to be consistently in every single person's conversation of, wow, look at this guy's physique. There's some minor improvements that he needs to make to his back, to his posing. But when you talk about shape and you talk about lines and you want to talk about a high ceiling, aesthetics, it's Guilherme Guelberto out of Brazil. From the front, it's beautiful. I've talked about him for the last 2 years. The abs, the lines, the chest. There's just little things he needs to work on over the next couple years. And this guy, I see no reason he can't be consistently in that top 7 out of Brazil. I'll throw it over to you first, Avomp. Here's a black and white. What do you think the aesthetics on this guy coming out of Brazil?
They're beautiful, man. Like the guy, like you said, this guy's got some of the nicest lines, nicest shape. This guy could be when you think men's physique shape, when you think of shapes that let's say 90% of the male demographic want to achieve, maybe less than that, but because obviously people have different tastes. But when you think of guys who want to look a certain way, be able to walk on the beach with their top off, go to a corporate business meeting with a shirt on and still fill it out and show people that they train, this is the look that you're going for. It's aesthetic, it's beautiful, it's attractive to males, females, and yeah, like you said, this guy has an extremely high ceiling. If he continues to keep his head on strong and continues to enjoy what he's doing and love the sport, love the game, this guy, to your point, could be someone that we see in the top 10, top 7 in future years.
Yeah, I agree. I think that he's getting his posing down better. A couple of things I like is, clearly he's committed to the game. because he's been working on his posing. His posing is looking better. The arms are not flared out as much anymore in that front pose. I think that he dropped an update maybe a couple of weeks ago, and it just looks smoother. Incredible lines. He's a manifest athlete, so love that. Looks like he probably uses Kippy. If not, he's using a product that's very, very close because the skin looks good. And I also think that, if he's getting any injuries, he's probably going to see the doc to get those stem cells and get his muscles nice and healthy and recovered. Super duper lines. Obliques look crazy. Looks like, again, another guy who looks like Wolverine just ran up on him and cut him right on the sides, with the claws and kept it moving. Shank and just caught him on the sides. Looks really bubbly in the abdominal area also. Nice chest. Keeps his chest up as opposed to dropping it. Skies has a tremendous ceiling. Legs need a little love, especially to be competitive with those top guys. But really beautiful lower lats. Love to tie in those lower lats right there, the insertions. And nice Christmas tree for sure. Needs a little bit more detail in the back, a little bit more width. The left side seems like it's a little bit wider than the right side, so there's a small imbalance there that he can work on. It might be a posing thing. It could be that the lats are locked on the right side because he might be right dominant, but it looks like he's probably left dominant, considering how he's posing. He's posing on that left side versus the right side, so he might be left-handed. Which could explain the imbalance to the lats on the when he turns to the back. But the guy looks great. Again, another handsome dude. Pause. Judges always like to see beautiful physique, beautiful flow, symmetry being there, beautiful tan, looks good, model-esque kind of look. Just continue to bring up those quads, the quad sweeps, and continue to bring up that right lat a little bit more, and just get a little bit more polish, a little bit more detail and whatnot, and that guy's going to be there. But I would agree with you, Hart, agree with you, Phil. In the next year and a half, 2 years, we're probably going to be ringing his name as a very dominant competitor and athlete in the men's physique field for sure. He's got a lot of upside to him.
Yeah. Remember his name, Horde. Guilherme Guelberto, out of Brazil. That wraps up another OTS. Today is Monday, February 9th. We thank all of you for being here. How are you boys feeling?
Amazing. Shout out to the Horde, our fans. Shout out to all of our partners, Center of Wellness and Pain Care, the Doc, Neville Campbell. Shout out to Kippy, phenomenal skincare product. Just super, super amazing, smooth, beautiful. Also shout out to Manifest board shorts. Man, love the new designs that Alex is about to drop. Woo! These boys are on point. And shout out to our supplement company, Huge, making really good product and whatnot, and just continue to really provide excellent supplements to the fans and the community alike. So shout out to our sponsors.
Yeah, and also forgot ProSeek. Don't forget ProSeek. If you want to
I was saving one of the best for last. For you,
I was going to say,
I know that's your jam. You're on there as a coach, and soon the Men's Physique Show. I think this week we officially will be on that, right?
Yeah,
is that right?
Yeah, that's 100% spot on. If you want to, you see what we do on the show. We critique physiques, and we want to elevate the sport as best as we can. If that means helping athletes, whether you're an MPC guy or IFBB pro, you can hit us up on ProSeek. We'll be able to help you out with posing and all the little tweaks that you need, especially leading into the 2026 season, because it ain't too far away. And we all know how hard you guys work off the stage. And now we want to help you guys present the best package on stage. So yeah, we'll be on ProSeek in the coming days. So stay tuned for that one. And also, while you're here, if you've made it to the end of the episode, we really, really do appreciate you being here. As we said throughout the episode, the Horde just continues to grow week in, week out, and we wouldn't be able to do this show without you guys. So we truly do appreciate the Horde for being part of our journey. But if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Like the video if you did get some value out of this episode or any episode that we've dropped over the last couple of months. We pump out so much content, whether it be on YouTube, on our Instagram page, on our Spotify. So we cover all angles. So make sure to follow us on all our socials as well. Also, we don't ask for any payment for these episodes. We do it all out of the kindness of our heart to help elevate the sport and grow the division as a whole. So, but if you could do us one massive favor, that is to take a screenshot of this episode, whether it be on Spotify or on YouTube, upload that to your story on IG so that we can get more supporters, more fans, in our circle to help, like I said, elevate the sport. So take a screenshot, upload that to your social media, your IG stories, tag the Men's Physique Show official, Hart McGrath, Aline Bolton, and Philip Naselli, and we'll share that one on our stories as well. But other than that, guys, thank you again for making it to the end of the episode. Have a good morning, have a good afternoon, good evening, whatever time you guys are watching this one, and we'll see you guys in the next one.
Peace.
Take care. See ya.